If you're using QuickBooks Online to manage all of your accounting, bookkeeping, or even your payments, you can now leverage Trace AR for QuickBooks Online for some more advanced AR tools. By using Trace AR, now you have more options outside of being locked into one specific processor, and you now get the flexibility of managing all of your invoice processes with a lot of the really great tracking tools and client portal access that Trace AR provides. Let's take a look at what we can do. One benefit of Trace AR for QuickBooks Online is how easy this is to implement this integration. We don't need to hire a developer or spend a lot of time and resources trying to get these two systems to talk to one another because it's already out of the box, ready to go. From our Trace AR account, I'm going to go over to my integration menu within my settings, and I'll have this tile all ready for Intuit QuickBooks Online. When I click on this, it's going to ask me to connect to my QuickBooks account. I've already connected this before, so it won't ask for it, but normally it's going to ask for your login information, email, password, and no more than 30 seconds. It'll connect those two accounts. So from here, any payments that I make within Trace AR will now be synced over into QuickBooks, and any payments made in QuickBooks Online will also be synced over into Trace AR. So it's got that complete two-way sync where it's constantly checking all of the information that we're sending to our systems. So let's actually go into QuickBooks Online and process an invoice. In our native QuickBooks Online, to go ahead and process an example of a payment, I'm going to go into our customers menu, and I'm going to grab one of my customers here, Sam Johnson. Now, if you're already a QuickBooks user, this should look very familiar to you. Notice we're not adding any sort of extra middleware or anything on this. This is all just taking place within our existing QuickBooks account. So I've got all of my payment history here already for Sam, but we want to go ahead and process a new invoice. So I'm going to go into my transaction menu, get this invoice drop down, and then let's start building this out. I've got all of my customers' information here already. We can set the terms, how that needs to be set. For this example, let's just do upon receipt. And then I'm going to add a couple different items within here. Now, what I really like about this integration between Trace AR and QuickBooks is that any of the information that we have stored over in Trace AR, whether that's customer information, items, anything like that, we don't have to duplicate efforts and re-enter all of that into QuickBooks. It's going to sync all of that data directly from one account to the other, and again, vice versa. So it's really streamlining that process. So I've got a couple different golf clubs in here. Everything looks good. At this point, I can go ahead and add any messaging that I want to. I can attach documents like PDFs or image files, things like that. But everything looks good. Total of $650. I'm going to save and close this invoice. And that's going to prompt Trace AR to fire this off to our customer. So our customer should get that. I can see now I have invoice 1076 on my QuickBooks account that's due today. To verify that this actually reached our customer, I can actually go back into my Trace AR profile, and I can see, yep, here's invoice 1076 with that QuickBooks icon on it. I can see that that was successfully sent out. And if we want to look at some advanced invoicing tools, we can actually track all of these within Trace AR. So to get a more fully baked out invoice, I'll go to a previous one that we've sent. This one that's past due. And under history, I can actually see by the minute all of the actions that have taken place on this invoice. So it looks like this one has had many different things happen to it. I can see that email was sent, delivered, and it was read multiple times. The customer is choosing not to pay for it. So now I can go back and call them and ask them where that is. And I've got some data to back that up. This is also sent via text message, which is pretty nice. So if we do have a mobile number associated with that customer account, they can pay that off via phone as well. So I'll actually open up this invoice here that we just sent. Let's move some information around. Open as customer. And this is what our customer will receive. So what's really cool about this is that if we choose to, we can actually keep the QuickBooks invoice branding over into this instead of using the Trace AR branding. So if we're using QuickBooks today and we want our customers to still have that same invoice template, we don't need to replace that. So I can see I've got my itemized invoice here. It's due today. Let's go ahead and pay that off. And from here, again, we can go through either paying off via ACH if we have Trace ACH enabled, or if we want to pay by card, we can do that as well. Now, something else that's unique about Trace AR is that when that customer goes to make that payment, if they have any additional outstanding invoices that haven't been paid off, we're going to notify them at the time of payment. So it looks like this customer has 2 outstanding invoices. We actually just saw that one for $200. So I'm going to check that box and we'll pay off multiple invoices at one time. I'll pay that off. Success. Customer knows that they've made that payment. We have the receipt here for them to access. If they want to, they can also use Trace AR's client portal to go back and manage all their previous payments. But if I go back into QuickBooks and let's do a quick refresh, I can now see that I've actually closed $850 on that payment. $650 went to the invoice that we just sent, and $200 also closed out invoice 1069. So what's really great about this team is that, right, we're able to use our native QuickBooks account. We can leverage Trace AR for some of the advanced AR tools if we want to take advantage of those. We can manage our own processor. So this is processor agnostic, which is really great. We're not locked into any fixed fees or fixed rates. And lastly, this sync is instantaneous. Some feedback that we've gotten from customers that have used other kind of third-party QuickBooks Online integration tools is that there's a bit of a delay from the time that we send out the invoice to when we get that payment remitted back to us. It's not as instantaneous. There could be a few minutes delay, and then we're left wondering, did that actually go out correctly? Was it received? Whereas this one is constantly syncing back and forth. So if you would like to learn more about QuickBooks Online or talk to somebody at Paytrace about this, please reach out to us at sales@paytrace.com, and we'd love to get that conversation started.